Hey everybody, this is Daniel with Champion Industries, and today we're going to cover everything you need to know about operating the touchscreen controller on the Pro Series rack conveyor machines from Champion Industries. This is going to cover both the standard vented machines as well as ventless like the one I have right here. Let's go ahead and get started. So with our machine powered up and ready to go, that means the machine has filled up and completed its heating process. If I wanted to start running a rack of dishes, I would simply hit the start button and then I would insert a rack of dishes into the machine. Now the machine does have a switch just inside where the racks go in, and that's what actually starts the wash process. For now, I'll go ahead and stop that because we're going to go into the controls here. So what I will do is hit the button in the top right corner that has the wrench, and then I can always return to my main screen by hitting the main button. So I'm going to go back to where we were, and this right here, this first button will show me revision. If I touch that, it'll basically just show me what revision of the program I have. A lot like your phone when you update the software on it. So I'll go back from there. There's a maintenance button. There's nothing inside that you as an operator will need to use. That's just for different settings that we have here from the factory, or if anything needs to be adjusted later on. Because our machine has an automatic drain, we have a button here for drain and for draining the machine. It'll bring you to this screen right here which says drain, and then we can hit the button once and we hear the machine beginning to drain. If for some reason we hit that by accident, we can always stop by hitting the button again and we hear the machine trying to fill back up. That's a good way to drain the machine every 2 hours like you're supposed to, just to refresh all the wash water inside the machine. I'm going to go back to main. Again, it tells me the machine is filling right now, and you'll see the icon of a valve. So as soon as that's done filling and the machine is back up to temperature, it will say ready. And there we go. From there, let's move on to the DLine button. Now delining is a procedure that needs to happen whenever you see scale build up inside the machine. So in the DLine Function screen, we have a DLine setup. In that, the task code for that will be 7777, and then you'll hit enter. And in this, we can either turn automatic DLine on or off. For right now, I'm going to leave it on because I want this reminder every 100 hours of operation of the machine that it's time to DLine. And then what that's going to do is on that main screen, that'll count down as long as the machine's in operation. And once it hits 100 hours, I'm going to get a display right there that says time to DLine the machine, or DLine required. If we want to change that 100 hours, let's say we've kind of had the machine in operation for a while, we know that every 77 hours we need to DLine that machine, or 75 hours. I'm going to hit clear, hit 75, enter, and now that is every 75 hours. That's going to give me a warning that it's time to DLine the machine. So what we can also do, so in the DLine procedure, the machine will show you how to open up the machine, clean the scrap screens. It'll automatically drain itself, do everything it needs to do, and then tell you when it's time to put in deliming solution. Around here, we know that when it's time to DLine this machine, it's good to DLine for 25 minutes, and then we'll rinse it. It's actually going to rinse it twice. So whatever time we have in for DLine rinse, remember it's going to do that twice. So let's say in your area, it always takes 30 minutes. Where it says 25, I'm going to clear that out and I'm going to put in 30 minutes. So we know that when that machine goes into its automatic DLime cycle, that it's going to wash for 30 minutes with the DLime solution in the machine. And let's say we want to extend that rinse out to 7 minutes each time. So I'm going to touch that where that said 5 previously. I'm going to clear it, type 7, and I'm going to put enter in. So now our automatic DLime is all set up for the time values that we want in those for that procedure. So let's go back. So when it's time to actually DLime the machine, when you get that warning, there'll be a button that'll take you here. But if you need to DLime before that, you can always come to the DLine Function screen and hit DLime start. And a message is going to pop up and ask you if you are really ready to DLime. you're gonna say yes. From there, it'll walk you through the whole procedure. But I'm gonna hit yes. So what it's gonna do now is drain the machine, and it's kind of like follow the bouncy ball. It's gonna take you through the whole process. If for some reason you really didn't want to D-line what you got here, you can always hold this in the bottom left corner, and it'll stop the procedure. I can go right back to where I was. Since we drained a little bit of water out of the machine in that process, it's gonna fill again, and then heat back up. So let's continue. So we've gone over main, revision, maintenance, and then the real stuff that an average user is going to need to know is when draining machine, how to operate the DLine function, and then another thing that's nice to know is temps. So the machine, back at the main screen, we'll go back, is going to show you your wash temperature, and when a rack finally goes through and hits the switch to go into final rinse, it'll show you your rinse temperature here. But what if I want to know those values without running any racks through the machine? What I'll do is come back to the wrench, into the maintenance screen here, hit temps, and I can see my wash temperature, which is at 164 degrees, rinse temperature, my booster temperature. Since this is a VHR machine, a ventless heat recovery machine, and this will only apply to the VHR machines, I have my cavity temperature, which is that temperature inside here, just below the control cabinet, and then the exiting air out of this machine. That only applies to the VHR machines, so if you don't have one of those, you just have a standard vented machine, you won't get those two values there. We're gonna go back, then we have our built-in manuals. So I'll hit that button, and if I wanna go through my operation manual, go to the operating instructions, I can hit start, and it's just like a slideshow. It'll take you through all the operating instructions you need to know on that machine. I'm gonna go back, we'll take a quick look, go back to manuals, and we also have our cleaning instructions. Just like we saw in the operating instructions, we're gonna hit start, and it's gonna go through all of our cleaning procedures on the Pro Series rack machine. And then we'll go back, we have one more to look at, and that's our input-output screen. Most of the time, this is only needed for service-related issues, but it's a good way to look inside if you're ever just trying to troubleshoot something small. Refer back to the owner's manual, and it'll give you a full readout on what each of these values mean, as well as our outputs here, what each of those mean as well. So for now, I'm going to go back into our main screen, and that covers just about everything you need to know as far as using the touchscreen display on a Champion Pro Series rack machine. And if you have any other questions about the operations of the touchscreen display on your Champion Pro Series rack conveyor machine, refer back to your operations manual that originally came with the machine. If you can't find that, that's okay. They're available for download on championindustries.com.